Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. I'm certainly glad that you are here. If it looks like I'm a bit distracted, it's because I am. I'm trying to do a bunch of things at the same time. Anyway, this is going to be this is kind of a really important show because listen, there's stuff going on. There's always stuff going on. Listen. Today we bring you the unfiltered truth, the stories that matter, and the fight for what's right. For archive purposes, it's Friday, May 23rd, 2025, and we've got a packed show today. We're diving into a massive investment by Stellantis into Detroit metro area that's putting American workers first. Plus, we'll tackle the latest on the economy and what it means for you. And as always, we're taking your pulse. What's got you fired up this morning? So grab your coffee or your water, grab some water, turn up the volume, and let's get to it. All right, folks, to kick things off, some pretty big news out of Michigan that's got the auto industry buzzing. Stellantis, that whole powerhouse that's behind Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, and a whole bunch more, just announced a $388 million investment in a brand new Metro Detroit Megahub. This high-tech facility is set up to open in Buren Township, Michigan in 2027. And it's not just another factory. It's a game changer for how parts get to your local dealership and you. Now, let's break this down. This Megahub is all about streamlining. Stellantis Mopar, remember Mopar? Yeah, distribution network. Picture this, a state-of-the-art facility with AutoStore robots, little tech machines zipping around, grabbing parts faster than you can change a tire. So according to Stellantis, this setup will make their supply chain faster, smarter, and more reliable. And in a world that we've all felt the pain of supply chain delays, remember those empty car lots a few years back? This is a big deal. It means quicker repairs, better service, and hopefully happier customers. But here's the part that really hits home. It's about jobs. This project is supporting about 488 UAW represented workers. These are good, solid American jobs, and Stellantis is putting these folks from existing distribution centers in like Centerline, Warren, Sherwood, and even Milwaukee. They're not cutting jobs. They're transitioning them to this new hub. That's 488 families with a steady paycheck, benefits, and a future in a high-tech workplace. And as part of Stellantis' commitment to their 2023 UAW contract, which has already seen $120 million poured into parts and services operations. Now, let's talk strategy. Stellantis is selling off the older facilities in Centerline, Marysville, and Milwaukee, but they've got a sale leaseback deal to keep things running until the Megahub and the new Warren Sherwood E-Coat uplifting facility are ready. This isn't about closing shop. It's about consolidation and modernization. They're betting on efficiency, sustainability, and keeping America at the forefront of the auto industry. But let's not put on the rose-colored glasses just yet, because we've all seen big corporate promises before, and we need to ask them the tough questions. Will these jobs stay secure long term? Because our lives are long term. Our lives are not from election cycle to election cycle. Can Stellantis deliver on the efficiency they're promising? And what does that mean for the broader fight to keep manufacturing jobs here in the United States. Some folks on X are calling this the Trump effect, pointing to policies pushing for American-made goods. So whether you buy into that narrative or not, it's clear the pressure's on to invest in places like Detroit. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you feeling optimistic about this kind of investment? Or are you skeptical? Head to fightbackmedia.com or hit us up here on X at RBM Show. We're in this fight together, and your voice matters. All right, let's zoom out 30,000 foot perspective and talk about the bigger economic picture, because the Stellantis story doesn't exist in a vacuum. We're in 2025 and the economy is sort of a mixed bag. Some wins and some challenges and a whole lot of noise. So let's cut through it. First up, manufacturing is showing signs of life. The Stellantis investment isn't a one-off. We're seeing companies like Ford and GM also doubling down on U.S. facilities, with reports of over $2 billion in combined investments in places like Ohio and Tennessee this year alone. But it's not all smooth sailing. Supply chain bottlenecks are still a headache. Some raw material costs are up 7% from last year, according to some analysts. That means higher prices for everything from cars to appliances. So speaking of prices, let's talk inflation. This is important because you've heard a lot about inflation and whatever. The latest numbers suggest inflation hovering around 2.3% in April of this year. And that's down from 8% peaks we saw a few years back. But it's not perfect, right? Some groceries are up. We find where I live, gas is flat. Because where I live, I don't know where you live, but where I live, the average price of a gallon of unleaded regular is about $3, $2.99, something like that. So it's flat. And but housing is through the friggin' roof. No pun intended. The Federal Reserve's been playing whack-a-mole with interest rates, and while they've eased off the aggressive hikes, borrowing still isn't cheap. For small business and families, that's a squeeze. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some economists are saying investments like Stellantis could help stabilize things. More jobs mean more paychecks, more spending, and a stronger local economy. But some warn that automation, like it always does, automation always displaces people. Always has. And always will. They warn that automation, like in those fancy AutoStore robots, or the ones that are in the... It's funny, I just talked to, before we started, the Kroger delivery dude who just came to my house. It took me a little bit to get started this morning because I was, excuse me here, I need to click on something, thank you. The Kroger dude was at the house. And I was like, okay, cool. And I asked him, so where do you pick up your groceries? And he said, I pick them up in a place not far from here. I said, okay, cool. And he explained to me that the large truck comes by and picks up and delivers from Groveland, I believe it is, and in that facility they have a bunch of robots, AI robots running around, picking groceries. Fewer jobs. People work in that place, obviously, and it's new, and people who didn't work before are working there at that place. But it's automation. It's these robots that are at all of these places that we order stuff from, we get stuff from. Automation has always replaced people, always. And will continue to. it's one of the things that we have to live with, that we have to adjust to. So there are some economists who are saying, but that automation, that those fancy AutoStore robots, could mean fewer jobs on the line if companies lean too hard into tech. There's no such thing as leaning too hard in the tech. It's going to happen. Now, it is a tightrope, and we're all watching to see who falls off first. But what's the takeaway? The American worker is resilient. But we're not out of the woods. We need more investments like this, but we also need policies that prioritize people over profits. Good luck. So what's your take? Are you seeing the economy turn a corner? Or are you still kind of feeling the pinch? Drop a comment on at Fight Back Media on X, or our RBM show on X, or at Fight Back, like I said, on fightbackmedia.com. Let's keep this conversation going. All right, folks. It's time for the listener pulse. We'll return the mic over to you. We got a ton of feedback this week on our X page and at fightbackmedia.com, and you guys are fired up. So let's dive into a couple of your comments. First up, we've got Mike from Ohio, who wrote in last week about an episode on energy prices. Good morning report, you nailed it. Gas prices are killing us, and especially in places like California. It's crazy. And these green energy mandates, which are driving up gas prices even more. Keep calling it out, Mike. We hear you, and we're not letting up. Energy costs are a real burden, especially in certain places. And we keep digging into what's driving them and who's profiting. And then we got Sarah from Michigan, who's closer to today's Stellantis story. She says, as a UAW member's wife, I'm thrilled about the Megahub, but I'm worried. Will these jobs last? Or is just a shiny distraction? Sarah, that's the $1 million question. We're hopeful, but we're also watching Stellantis like hawks. Keep us posted on what you're seeing on the ground. And finally, a quick shout out to at Patriot Pete 2025 on X, who posted Stellantis investing in Detroit. That's what winning looks like. Let's keep America first. Pete, we're with you on celebrating the wins, but we're keeping our eyes peeled for the fine print. Because what do they say? The devil is where? In the details. You folks are the heart and soul of this program. So keep those comments coming. Head over to fightbackmedia.com or tag us here on X. Tell us what's on your mind, whether it's jobs, inflation, or something else entirely different. We're listening, and we're doing our best to do what we can for you. All right. So as we wrap up today's program, let's take a moment to reflect. The Stellantis investment is a bright spot. $388 million, 488 jobs, and a vote of confidence in American workers. But it's also a reminder of the bigger fight. We're in a battle to keep manufacturing here, to keep paychecks flowing here, and to keep our community strong here. Every dollar invested in places like Detroit is a step forward, but it's not enough. We need policies that put American workers first, not global corporations or foreign interests. So here's my challenge to you. Stay engaged. Hold companies like Stellantis accountable. Support businesses that invest in America. And most importantly, keep raising your voice. Whether it's on X, or at the ballot box, or right here with us. Your fight makes a difference. That's all I got for you today. Again, my name is William Lawson. This has been The Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.